Living in the moment is a common piece of advice nowadays, a way to make the most of what you have and to appreciate your present task and surroundings fully. For artist Stephanie Birdsall, however, living in the moment has an even deeper appeal. It is her means of recording a scene in the instant it captured her attention, complete with the sights, light, and emotion that moment holds.
Painting for me is a little bit of heaven every time I do it. When I'm on location or in the studio, I always fall in love with my subject, and the subject takes over.
Birdsall works primarily in pastels, small sticks of color that to a non-artist resemble chalk. They are actually powdered pigment rolled into round or square sticks and bound with methacellulose, a non-greasy binder. An artist can never have enough pastels, Birdsall insists, because there is always another shade that might come in handy. And a glance around her Naples studio gallery confirms that her collection of pastels is extensive.
The colors are fabulous, they're direct, they're brilliant. The strokes that I can do, the effects I can achieve, it's like magic. There's a romance to pastels. I think they can be very, very delicate. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful medium.
Although a self-proclaimed scribbler since childhood, Birdsall didn't study the medium while she was in school. Instead, she concentrated at first on oil painting, a medium to which she has just recently returned. Her path to pastels, by contrast, was serendipitous.
I think that what it was is, at some point in my life, maybe when I was going to college, my father gave me a set of pastels. You know, thinking that we were in the art store and this would be fun. Do you want to try some pastels? Sure, Dad. And I had that set forever. I still have the box. And about 10 years ago, I discovered them and thought it would be fun.
The medium proved perfect for the plein air, on-location painting she prefers. She can find intriguing scenes everywhere she travels, she says, from the Everglades to New Mexico to France, and even right around the corner from her Creighton Cove studio.
Everything to me also has a personality, and sometimes a tree will grab me in a certain way, or the angles of light on something, contrast, sometimes a real high contrast. Atmosphere is huge. I love moody paintings. I love soft light. I can't explain it. Something will catch my eye. There's a moment that I want to capture, and generally the moment clicks in, and that's the moment I'll come back and try and get.
Birdsall begins by setting up her compact folding easel and opening her big box of bright colors. The bounty is necessary, she explains, because artists see so many more colors than most of us do.
I think we are always, always looking, and I think our mind is doing a little translation in the background of a little blue here, a little green there. It's part of who we are.
Birdsall often begins with a sketch, or two or three, to help her decide on her composition. The sketches can also bring her back to her original intention if she finds herself getting too lost in a painting. Then it's time to choose her starting color. Sometimes that's the color she sees underneath the obvious shades. Other times, she'll begin with a mid-tone color that then allows her to work back and forth between lights and darks.
Sometimes outside, if it's a really contrasty day, I'll put my darks in and my lights, especially if the light is changing quickly because I want to establish what's there, and I will worry about the midtones later. So I really use what is the most expedient for my subject matter.
The paper Birdsall uses has a special sanded finish that picks up the color from the pastels well enough that she doesn't need to use a fixative. She will, however, often apply some alcohol with a brush to blend colors and to achieve darker darks.
If I were just to use the side of the pastel and rub it across, you would see the white underneath of the paper coming through. When I brushed on the alcohol, it soaked into the paper and created a flat tone.
As Birdsall piles on color after color, the abstract shapes start to take form and the scene emerges. She works quickly, trying to capture the picture before it changes.
There's something wonderful about being outside with nature, which to me is, we can't duplicate it, we can appreciate it. And I think as an artist, what I am trying to portray is my appreciation of the beauty that is nature and the light, chasing the light. You're working against a time constraint always, and it's intense and it's exciting. It's a race.
Birdsall doesn't face the same time limitations when she's in her studio painting a still life. Yet she works very much the same way, from selecting her composition to putting the pastels on paper, an approach that gives these paintings a sense of the moment as well. That approach won her an award of exceptional merit from the prestigious Degas Pastel Society for her painting of a rose and two pears.
I was actually in the grocery store and fell in love with this rose. This rose said, "Paint me." And I didn't know what else I was going to put in it, but the flower area happened to be right next to it. It happened to be the fresh market. But I was right next to the fruit section, and I was looking around, and I saw pears that had the same blush, sort of pinkish blush, and it just went, painting.
To remind herself of the perfection she's seeking, Birdsall keeps a quotation taped to the top of her easel. It advises, "Never knowingly leave a mistake on your canvas," and it is a caution that she takes seriously.
And that's not to say I don't make mistakes. I do. I really try and be aware of if I put down something that doesn't work, taking it out as soon as possible.
As on location, Birdsall works feverishly in her studio, seeking out color after color and applying them both broadly and in intricate detail. And how does she know when a painting is finished?
That's the tough part. They say it takes two artists, one to tell you when to stop. I get a feeling of completion. That doesn't mean I may not want to go back and change something later if it's not already framed, but there's a feeling of all the elements come together and it's finished. It's quiet.
The results of all her efforts are paintings that whisper of precious moments and wonder-filled places, which is just what Birdsall intends.
To me, a painting is a window, and my goal would be that one would look into my painting and be transported. I'd like you to feel like you can walk into my painting and go somewhere else. And if it's a still life, I'd like you to feel that you can sit down at the table or smell the rose. And ideally, I want it to make you feel better. And I'd like to make the world more beautiful through my paintings.
Perhaps best of all, her paintings are a chance for Birdsall to share her joy.
It's just so much fun. Who in your life thought you'd be able to crayon all your life? Think about it. To be able to sit there and draw like you did when you were a kid in school, that's half the fun of it. What could be better?
For Stephanie Birdsall, painting is a true and full vocation, one that grows from her life, her heart, and her soul. The soft warmth of her paintings, filled with a sense of wonder and appreciation, create lasting moments that are beautiful to behold. For Expressions, I'm Janina Bertolo.